Universal Credit Vlog. It's about, well, it can be about a lot of things. If you look at my channel, my previous channel, it's got loads of vlogs on Universal Credit because I was on Universal Credit then. To be fair, I'm on it now. But I was living in a car on Universal Credit, and living in a car means you've got accommodation costs, but you can't. But if you look at my previous channel, which is Number Plate Guy, number, as in the word, plate, all one word, space, guy. Excuse me, just had dinner, excuse me, just had dinner, and that was something. So yeah, my previous channel was Number Plate Guy, which, excuse me, I'm all over the place. But it goes into a bit about Universal Credit, because people now, in 2020, are losing their jobs so fast, and they won't know how to cope with Universal Credit. Applying for it, what happens? You get an advance, but you've got to be verified. Now you still have to be verified, but they can do it a different way now. Why they couldn't do that before, I'll never know. Because before, people would have been in a bit of a pickle when they first sign on Universal Credit. And this is pretty much about Universal Credit Advance, right? So people used to be able to sign on. You can sign on from your computer or your phone or whatever, yeah, as long as you've got the internet. But the problem is that you've then got to still get to Universal Credit Office to get verified and have an interview. Now they do it on the phone. Why they couldn't do it on the phone before? It's anyone's guess. But if you're in a pickle and you've got no money and you need the advance, you need to sign on to Universal Credit to be able to qualify to get the advance that you can get, because you're going to work a month in arrears. You're going to work a month before you get paid from Universal Credit. But to get to that month, you may need an advance. But to get the advance, you have to, or you used to have to go to the Universal Credit Office. Obviously, with the pandemic, that's been closed, and so they've had different ways around how to work that out. But what happens if you live in a village and you can't afford the bus, or you've got a phone but you've got no credit on your phone, which means you can't get on the internet. Or you've got an appointment, you've got a car, but no fuel. You can't get the advance that you need to get to the Universal Credit Office to be verified so you can get the advance. But then you see, some people are going to be in such a difficult situation where they're going to have to borrow the full advance that you get, which is about 317, 340, something like that. It's changed because of the pandemic, it's gone up a bit, I think. And then they're going to say, we'll pay it over 12 months, which is great, right? Let's just say you only need to do the advance for a month or two, and you could get a job within the month or two. Then you still have your outstanding Universal Credit loan, wouldn't you? The loan could have just been used to actually put petrol in a car for a week or two, till you get your week in arrears and you're away and working. Then what happens is that Universal Credit, once they see you're working, they close your Universal Credit claim. So then you're in a pickle, because you can't then use, if let's just say you didn't have, so they give you a second advance, because they closed it. You didn't want it closed, say for example, because you do, it's just handy, but they take it from your benefit, not from your wages. But when you're on the benefit, you can have, and that's another thing, when you're on the benefit, let's just say you take the 340 on the benefit, or whatever it is, 317, whatever it was, and then you've got to pay it monthly. So you're then a month in arrears, so you get your £409, whatever it is, then you get deducted your 29 quid, so you're under 300 and something. And if you've got attachment to earnings, that comes off as well, right? So you pay another 30 quid or 35 quid, 36 quid for that as well. So then you're paying about 70 quid off your 409, which means you've got about 340 quid, 330 quid, whatever it is, to pay. And then you're in a right pickle. Because then you've got to live on £80 a week. Your rent is paid, your bills are paid, you've got to live on 80 quid a week. But you've got to manage your 330 quid, 340 quid. If you've got attachment to earnings and loan deduction for 4 weeks, for 4.5 weeks. And not everybody can do monthly pay, which then leaves you in a pickle. And then you basically, the advance only helps you out if your situation can be helped out for £317. What if you need £1,000? Can't do anything. And that's Universal Credit. What happens if you've got debt? There should be a specialist debt team in Universal Credit and a digital assets liquidation team that actually liquidates people's digital assets so they can pay off their debt. Or a digital asset domain name broker. Or a crypto broker. Just so that people can liquidate their digital assets to pay off their traditional debt, but it doesn't exist. And there should be a day trading team on the computers on the front of the Universal Credit office. There should be a day trading team teaching people how to day trade the stock market, which is a remote skill, which most people want a remote job these days. And that's just a few things about Universal Credit. My experience of it anyway. Adios.